boy on a jetty plane as he walks into the goal. In a lighthouse shining out to the sea, to the shrimpers staring in disbelief at the mermaid saying he's gotta believe that a light will take him home. And by the Mississippi River there's a southbound train and it's headed for the goal. Gonna buy my ticket and hold it tight till I know I'm getting close. See me running down the alleyway looking for the jetty, searching for my soul. You know, I'm headed for the
coast. 95 with 103 heat index. That, god dang, man. What's Wyoming? Are you still in Wyoming there, John?
Getting it down to a science.
Yeah, I'm still near Saratoga.
Okay. How was it there?
We haven't even broke 90 yet this year. We've been in the mid 80s for the past couple weeks.
Oh, that just sounds terrible. Just rough.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just awful.
Yeah.
I don't bitch. I don't bitch about nothing because I don't get paid to bitch.
Yeah. It was 47 going into the feedlot this morning, and it felt pretty damn nice. I wore a jean jacket till about 7:30, and then I think it got up to about 90, 95 probably this afternoon. That part kind of sucked. Yeah, that's we're getting ready to ship out most of our native cattle, and it'll just be Holsteins for the rest of the summer. And I can understand why. I mean, it doesn't get super hot here, or it doesn't stay super hot. I mean, it'll get up over 100 pretty easy, but not very many days, and it doesn't stay consistent like that. But there's, you're pushing 50-degree temperature changes in the summer, because it always gets down into like low 50s, high 40s. Yeah. How do the cattle do up there?
I'd like to hear the bitching about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm guessing you got all like good Angus type cattle up there, Angus cross.
Yeah, that's a big damn change.
Yeah. That's right. I guess the upper Midwest does feed a lot of Packer lands up there, and that's pretty well all Holsteins. So, yeah, I don't know. I've never dealt with of course, I've never dealt with humidity, so I don't know how the Holsteins would do either. But the Holsteins handle the heat okay, but there's some of those steers that we got coming off the mountain in California. They're getting ready to head out to Nebraska, and they're still haired up pretty decent. So when it gets up over 85 or so, those little hairy black steers feel it pretty good. And
drop back down. So we've had 2 weeks of just hot, miserable shit around the block.
You just got to get through them early in the morning when everything looks pretty good, and then because you get past about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and everything's gonna look like shit. So
pretty easy on spring, not having the summer. It's kind of a look at them from a distance. Don't bother them. Everything looks okay. They start moving. They stress pretty easy. They're not fit at all for any kind of handling much.
What's the grass like up there? Like, I guess what's the typical
a lot of them
cow outfit look like up in Michigan?
People that feed feed those Holsteins. Yeah, there's a lot of Amish around me that feed those Holsteins.
I see. Huh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they would grow corn and beans up there, I imagine, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it's
That's
how's the drought situation in your part of the world, John?
Oh, it hasn't been too bad the past couple of weeks. We've been getting some thunderstorms in the afternoon, but nothing's really coming down that far. Our fire danger is going up. We're starting to lose a lot of quality grass. We did just start out haying our alpha circles, though, so got that going for us. At least it's dry for that.
Yeah, I was up in Montana this past weekend, and shit, that's a whole different deal up there, man. They're standing in belly deep grass. They got a rain on Friday. Got hail on Sunday, and it's pretty damn humid up there. But the winters in Montana, that's kind of, Wyoming ain't much better, I guess. So, you just got Wyoming's got the wind. Yeah.
Yeah, the wind hasn't been that bad the past couple of weeks.
Every day.
So, like,
it's been
20 mile an hour.
Sunshine day.
Shower today's first rain we've had months of grass here.
About 20 or 30.
Yeah, that's a light breeze for Wyoming and the Great Plains, anyways.
Yeah.
It's when you get those 45 mile an hour days sustained. That's when it really sucks.
Yeah, that's when it starts getting to be a hassle, but we haven't had any of those days recently.
That's good. That's something you don't ever get used to. I don't think. Like you can learn to live with the wind, but you don't ever get used to it. Like it finds a new way to piss you off. Even if you think you've got it all, if you got your wild rag and you got your 6-inch collar with the leather stitched on and everything, and you'll still find a way to get wind down your neck, and in a different way every time. Yeah. I hate it, but what are you gonna do? All the places with
That's what's about this winter is that.
Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that was the thing about this winter is that we were having such a fucking hard time getting around the wind because every time it snowed, it was 60 mile an hour winds and it was snowing every other day, and it was just a pain.
Yeah, I know. I know how that goes. Well, the snow, I don't have a whole lot of experience with, and we don't get much snow where I grew up. I don't get a whole lot of snow here, but that wind it's something different. It makes it miserable. Like, yeah, it just wears on you. Just like you can do nothing except walk around in the wind, like not have to do anything except walk in it, and you'll just be wore out for the rest of the day.
Right. And then that's the way it goes.
Yeah, then your horses act like shit, and there ain't nothing about the wind that's any fun.
You can fly a kite in it.
Yeah, I did that the other day with my little boy, and I don't get the thrill of flying a kite. I guess we're a little spoiled with the technology and shit, but flying a kite's not all that fun. If you can't get it up there, it really actually is no fun at all.
You must have had a really boring childhood.
Yeah, Yeah, I just I can think of a lot better things to do than fly a kite. Like just start naming shit, and that's probably more fun than flying a kite. Yeah, like just playing with a stick would probably be better than trying to fly a kite, because you at least hit something with a stick. Shit, I was going somewhere with a point, and I forget what it was. Sean, what's going on, buddy? Anyhow, while I regather my thoughts, let me tell you about the sponsors. We got a brand new sponsor on the show. Talked about him last couple of times, but we got it. It's official. And Stetson Ranch out of Fromberg, Montana, is fucking awesome setup. They got a really beautiful spread, got a really nice cow herd, some of the best people you'll meet in your life, and they got some really, really nice foundation bloodline quarter horses that they're working up, building a really awesome breeding program for horses that you can take any direction you want to. They got a Zanpar bar mare. They got a 2-eyed jack mare. They're just good bone, good minded mares that they got. They pick the best studs, and they're getting foundation bloodlines on the papers. So I mean, it's not 8-9 generations back. It's on the papers, and they got bone for days, and you can go any which direction you want with them. And also they got a direct to consumer, pasture raised, grain finished, farm to table beef operation. Working on building up and to meet the demand that they're going to have, but you can give them a holler. You can holler at Jese Stetson at Jese Stetson on Instagram, or you can send us a message here on Burning Daylight, and we'll put you in contact with them. But they're doing registered Angus cows, registered Hereford bulls, F1 Black Baldy Cross calves. The meat's gonna grade choice or prime just about every damn time, and you know where it's coming from. It's coming from Stetson Ranch there in Fromberg, Montana. It's all natural, pasture raised, grass fed, grain finished, excellent beef, and excellent people to work with. So check them out. Their website's still under construction. They're doing a revamp, but go give Jese Stetson a follow on Instagram and Facebook, and tell him you heard about it on Burning Daylight. Next up, we got Loma Livestock. George, just talked to him the other day. Loma Livestock, but they got a sale tomorrow starting 8 o'clock. Going to be a small sale, but they're trying to get done with it before the heat hits. So they're starting at 8 o'clock, 1369 12.5 Road there in Loma, Colorado. If you can't make it, check it out online at dvauction.com. Click on the Loma Livestock tab. If you got any other questions for them, give them a holler, 970-858-9988. Or check them out online, lomalivestock.com. And then we got Nick Allen Lute with Braided Rawhide Hondas. And soon to be Bozell's as soon as he gets it figured out, which he will. He's a quick guy. And pretty damn good rawhide braider, if I do say so myself. I've got 3 of his Hondas. They're awesome. They add a little bit of weight to your tip, a lot of speed, and makes it easier to cut through the wind. Jonathan, you know about that. I don't know how windy it gets up in Michigan, but yeah, you got to have sounds about right. Because any place without wind's got too many goddamn people living in it. So if you're going to live in cowboy country, you better have a Nick Allen Lute Rawhide Honda to cut through that shit. Find him on Facebook, Nick Allen Lute, at Will Cowboy for Food on Instagram, and tell him Burning Daylight sent you. And finally, we got Matt Wilson with his handmade bridle bits. You guys really got to go check him out. He's got some really cool stuff that he's done, and it's all made to order. And he's just no cowboy like the rest of us. He's kind of a buckaroo guy himself, but he makes a grazer bit. He makes a broken mouthpiece, whatever you want. He can build it, and he's quite the artist as well. So you can find him on Instagram at Wampus Cat Sound, WAMPUS Cat Sound, all one word. And once again, tell him about that you heard it on Burning Daylight. So thanks for bearing with me, fellas. Got to pay some bills. So, and yeah, and these guys are awesome. I mean, every one of those guys are awesome. They'll work with you, and they just make cool shit, and they got good things going on. You know, whatever the case may be, whether it be Jesse and his family up there with the beef, or Nick with his braiding. It's all what we love. It's all what we're here for, and it's good to support small businesses like that. So that's why I do it. And yeah, and if you don't buy Stetson Ranch beef, I don't have a picture of him. I'll post it later. But Jesse's dad, Jay, has a mustache that put Tom Selleck crying in the fetal position. And so if you don't buy his beef, Jay Stetson's mustache, not him, Jay Stetson's mustache will punch you right in the dick. So anyhow, back to the bull session. I guess that upper Midwest country, I don't know very well as on the cow side of things. So what's the cowboy style like up there? Are you see more like buckaroo style, or like team roper, or puncher, or what?
We don't got to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I mean it's because in like the Upper Peninsula, that's basically like swamp, isn't it? Oh. Hills have eyes and whatnot, huh? Thad would.
A lot of team ropers. We start a lot of golders. Nobody in this broadcast.
Yeah, I've always. There's always places like that. You know, whether I remember driving through
with all the
Tennessee with my oldest sister. I was helping her move back from North Carolina, and you could just see the fires from all the stills up in the hills. You know, you just see a little glow here and there.
That are handy enough.
And they also.
Have to ask for help. But,
yeah, they always say don't. You know,
it's not a common thing around here for sure.
Yeah, don't pull off the highway. You may get shot.
For damn sure.
That's wild. It was too flat for us to have anything like that. I'm too good for the common folks here in the new studio. Well,
I've lived here
I'm trying, Nick. I'm not any better than you, but I'm trying to look better. That's anyways. But yeah, I appreciate. I like the new studio. It's pretty cool.
You don't belong there. They don't want you there.
It's called being professional.
Yeah, read a fucking book, Nick. Come on.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
So what's new in Wyoming? Get up into any wild shit there here lately?
We're about 7 miles north of the Indiana line, so that's quite a trip for us. I've got
not
to be there.
Really. I mean,
no don't really.
Our fucking yearlings are getting out every single day just because our fences are shit. So I'm spending most of my days working on fence and wrangling up loose cattle, and a lot of one-man doctoring since nobody else on my outfit can rope. And you know, we're keeping our yearlings 12 miles from the nearest chute, so I gotta go out there by myself and doctor 3 or 4 a day, and
well, it's good for your horses.
My horses a bit.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, it's wearing them out though.
How many you running?
How many cattle or horses?
How many horses you running?
Well, we've got about 10 in the ranch's string, and then I've got 2 that I own, and then I've got 2 outside colts that I'm training for other people.
Yeah, that's doctoring 3 or 4 a day. That'll put a hurting on a horse pretty quick. You don't think about it till about you don't think about it till a couple days in, and you're like, holy shit, he looks bad.
Yeah.
It just
feeding a fuck ton of grain, keep weight on them.
Yeah, making them hotter and shit, but still just dog tired.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry,
it's like what's that?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's like feeding them cocaine and sleeping pills at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty well. They're pissed off and wound up, and but they can't really do anything about it except just kind of piss you off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are you in the feedlot up there, Tyler? Okay, you're nice. And are you doing like rein cow horse or? Nice. Nice. Well, that's so do most of your horses sell back there, or do you have to ship them elsewhere?
No, I'm not. No, I am.
Nice.
I've got
well, that's pretty cool.
Barn here. Actually, my wife and I are buying a place there.
Yeah, that's
built really. We're starting.
Do you own all of the horses that you're training, or are they client horses too?
We do some reiners, some cutters. If we get a reiner that's handy enough to get some cow to them, we'll dabble in rein cow horse. More so, just kind of focus on making a good using horse, good solid foundation on one. Got a bunch of colts, and then we get we start everything horseback. And once we get them fired up,
that's pretty cool. I guess I wouldn't have ever pictured Michigan as being a big horse market, but I guess you never know till you. Yeah, kinda. I Detroit and Ted Nugent. That's about what I think of. That's.
No, we sell quite a few.
Yeah, I just figured there was
back before the COVID bullshit, we were traveling
I just always pictured there's like just two places in Detroit. There's Michigan. There's Detroit, and then there's Ted Nugent's ranch, and that's pretty much it.
And they all, just right back to back. They were sold as fast as we could get them online right here. Just
freaking Nuge, that guy's a hoot. He's straight up nuts, but he's entertaining.
What's that?
I believe that. Yeah, there's no middle ground on the Nuge in Michigan, huh?
I've got 14 trainers in right now.
That's funny. I think he's I like I say he's just crazy, but he's entertaining at least. Yeah, I think so. I think he's got some far out there views as far as living, goes. I think his politics are his politics are really just kind of just mainstream conservative. It's the fact that he's a crazy guy. It's not like that. He doesn't really have any wild political views. He's just a wild man. And
turned out to be pretty profitable, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's just extra loud on the fuck off part, I think. He's I guess he has never done any drugs, but like, can you imagine if that guy did cocaine? Yeah, like if it's true that he has never done cocaine, can you imagine if he did? Like,
and the people here,
I feel the same way about Trump. Like, he doesn't drink or anything, but he's got to be on some sort of speed like that. You can't be 74 years old and like have that type of stamina naturally. I don't. It got to be, has to be, but he's a pretty real guy. That freaking guy. Oh, what a crazy world we're living in right now. I'm getting more and more convinced that this is all a simulation because it's too crazy to be real life. Like, this has to be made up somewhere. Yeah, and not
many coincidences.
Yeah. Speaking of coinencidences, Ghislaine Maxwell has the coronavirus. That's weird. Yeah,
and she's on suicide watch.
Oh, huh? Who would have thought? I wonder if it's the same cops that were watching her last time, or watching her husband, right? Or boyfriend, whatever he is.
She's in the same.
You wouldn't think so, but you look at Epstein. He didn't look real handy with a rope either, and apparently he got her done.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and
I was reading that they gave her all paper clothes and paper sheets, and she's under 24/7 watch. That she can't make a news or do anything to kill herself.
Well, yeah, that's what her boyfriend or whatever he was. That's what Epstein was supposed to be under too, and they had also not had a suicide in that prison since like 1996 or some shit like that. And the cameras just happened. Yeah, they just happened to malfunction right at that time. The same day that they moved his cellmate out of there, and it's just a really long string of coincidences. That's all it was. And now she's got the Rona, but even Vegas has odds of what she's gonna die from. Like, that's how you know it's real. That's how you know this is a real thing, and it's probably still gonna happen. That's the crazy part, is like everybody knows.
Look to me like she'd be that handy with a rope.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I saw a meme
that she had got COVID-19. I was like, that can't be real. So Google search, and and there's like 5 different articles from varying sources of credibility, but all the major ones are like, well, I guess it is real, or that's the case. Yeah, that's the case that's been reported anyways. But yeah, COVID. It's gonna be, and like I said, the whole country knows it's gonna happen, and it's probably still gonna happen. That's the thing. She's gonna end up dead in her cell somehow.
He was just that fucking good.
And because there was another one that said, or there's another article that said like she's gonna start naming names, and I was like, no, she's not. She's not gonna make it that far.
No. Absolutely not.
These but no. I told Robbie, I said, we got to hammer those memes and make it just as big of a deal as Epstein. She just doesn't. She's got such a weird name. It doesn't roll off the tongue like Epstein didn't kill himself. But
they'll sweep it out of the damn rug like everything else.
Yeah,
we got to start making some. We got to start brainstorming ideas for death memes. We gotta make it roll off the tongue a little bit better, because the hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself was like it worked. But now, she's got the, I don't even know how you say her. Is it Ghislaine?
Within 4 or 5 days.
I'm pretty sure it's Lane.
Jelaine. It's spelled Ghislaine or Ghislaine, or I don't know. Ghislaine. Maybe that Ghislaine didn't kill herself. That is my dick joke for the night.
Guaranteed.
Got it. Oh shit.
There'll probably be more.
What? Oh, we got some comments here. Need to keep a schedule. You didn't follow along, Sean. We did the movie deal every week, every Thursday until it came to fruition, and Tombstone won. Yes, I know. It's fucking stupid. That's the last time I let you guys vote on anything. You guys are terrible voters. This is why we need to repeal the Voting Rights Act. Only property owning males. I don't know about the white part.
Wow.
That's possible, but I know a lot of stupid landowning white people. So, smart landowning males. Those are the only people that can vote.
Pretty sure that's the system that Russia has right now.
Yeah, so let's just become Russia.
How the hell you pronounce that?
Let's annex Russia.
Welcome to Burn Daylight, the most dictatorous podcast on the internet.
We're the most tyrannical libertarian podcast you've ever seen. Yeah.
We violate ourselves every day.
Was that dick joke for the night?
I may have to make a shirt of that. We violate ourselves for your own good. How involved can the bank be in my land? Well, if we're going that route, then if there's no banks involved, there's going to be like 3 voters, and we'll just get Hillary Clinton until they can't reanimate her body anymore. If that's the case, if there's no banks involved with your land ownership, it's going to be just 200 years of Hillary Clinton's head in a jar, because there's only the bankers own land that the banks don't own. Or the government.
It'll be like Palpatine from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just secretly reigns forever.
Yeah. But it'll be like Futurama with Nixon's head in a jar. It'll just be Hill Dog. Yeah. Except her little nameplate will just say Hill Dog. President Hill Dog. Oh, that was a good question. How involved can the bank be in? Oh shit! I honestly don't know where the hell this. I was talking with Doug Weissman today, one of the contributors to the website, and I was like, regardless of who wins in November, like COVID will be cured because what's election day is November 2nd, so give it a week. If it's close, especially with Kanye running, then the the results will take like at least a week to get tallied. Yeah,
I'm gonna vote for Kanye.
I was leaning towards Joe Jorgensen, but Kanye threw his hat in the ring. Guy knows how to make money, and he makes a sick beat. So fuck it. He's not any. It wouldn't be any more weird than what we've got on the Democratic and the Republican side. I mean, yeah, like if The Rock's not going to do it, then it might as well be Kanye. So
I just thought of Kanye's campaign slogan.
Huh?
He's doing it harder, faster, better, and stronger.
Plus Yeezys for everybody. Yeezys for all.
Yeah, free Yeezys for the whole country.
Oh man!
I vote automatically.
I don't know how many states he can get on the ballot and actually get on the ballot, but he might make a pretty significant difference. Like he there's a good chance he'll get more votes than the Libertarian Party ever has, and they've been around for like 40 years.
It's a sad truth, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, I don't know. I try to get Joe Jorgensen to come on the podcast. That'd be cool, but I don't think it'll happen. She sounds all right.
Well, you won't know until you come.
Yeah, I sent a media request. I guess I'm part of the media now. I'm part of the fake news.
You got to just slide into the DMs.
Yeah, I did that too. I think she left me on red, if I'm not for sure. Or I'm not for sure, but I think so.
Did you get ghosted by Mama Joe?
I did get ghosted by Mama Joe. I'm a little disappointed.
That's rough.
I've listened to her on a couple podcasts, and she's pretty solid, but I just don't see her getting any attention. Like, I don't know. It's the Libertarian Party. Just like they just can't get out of their own damn way. They've got great points. They've got great policies, and then they just put up absolute turds every time. And I don't know. Maybe Joe Jorgensen isn't a turd, but she's not gaining a whole lot of steam. Seems like, and there's a lot of people that are pissed off enough at both parties that they should, like, anybody who can put a coherent thought together and make the news should be able to get some sort of attention, but I don't know what it is.
That's not the way the media goes.
No, and like I think so. Well, and that's, and then there's, you've got that in the media too. It's just like, you've got Fox News, which is bullshit. Like, Fox News is terrible, but you've got, on the other side, you've got MSNBC and CNN, who are just as terrible or just as wrong, but their policies are, arguably worse. So I mean, you got two shit sandwiches. It's the old classic South Park episode where you got a turd sandwich and a giant douche. That's exactly what you have every damn time. And and then you got the Libertarian Party who's got good ideas, and then like if you're a left wing person, you've got the Green Party, which in your mind would have good ideas, but they never pick up any steam. I don't know. I don't know. I think the media. Oh, I know the media has a lot to do with it, but I don't know. It's just like most people just retreat into their natural camp, I guess, and it's always Republican versus Democrat, and I don't know how you break that shit. They both suck horrible.
You got to bring back the guillotine.
Right now, you got the people.
I'm in favor of the guillotine.
You have people that fucking hate him to no end, and that's what.
Yeah,
that's what they're stuck on.
I was listening to
politicians.
I was listening. I forget which podcast I was listening to, but they're talking about how like all these politicians and the media, like they can lie right to your face, and then it gets proven that they're lying right to your face, and there's no repercussions for it. So they keep doing it. Like Adam Schiff said, I have seen the evidence that Trump colluded with Russia to influence the election.
Yeah.
And then the Mueller report says, no, there was none. And every other report says, no, there was none. But nobody says, hey, Adam Schiff, what the fuck, man? You said you've seen the evidence.
Right.
And nothing happens. And he'll get reelected. And then like Fox News will run the narrative. Like my father-in-law, he's a, diehard Fox News watcher because he's typical boomer conservative guy. And he's like, oh, the people are tired of AOC. Well, the country may be tired of AOC, but she's representing the South Bronx. That's like the most liberal district in the country. She ain't going anywhere.
Right.
And you just keep giving her more and more attention. Well, she's not going anywhere. Like, no, her voters are tired of her, and then she's going to get voted out. She got like 73% of the primary vote. Yeah, she's not going anywhere. The best thing you can do is just not listen to her at all. Like, just don't pay any attention, and she'll just kind of fade into the background. But she's a good whipping boy. The right wing news can show some clip about how stupid she is. We all know that she's retarded, but. You get in trouble for that word nowadays. I apologize to all children with mental retardation because you cannot help the fact that your brain doesn't work right. She's just stupid. So I apologize for that. Exactly. But they keep giving her all this attention, and she's not going away. But it's just an easy scapegoat. I don't know. I really don't know how you break that deal. And this election cycle
goes back to the point that.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that it just goes to prove the point that the media is in bed with all the politicians. Everybody's benefiting somehow.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they like you look through the Democratic primaries, like the only person who was any different policy wise, well, two people, I guess, was Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard. Bernie Sanders was the radical lefty, and Tulsi Gabbard was the radical lefty who also was very outspoken on our foreign policy. Everybody else was exactly the same points. And who did they hate the most? Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard, because they were different than the status quo. And as much as I don't agree with Bernie. Like, I don't agree with him on 99% of his stuff.
He chooses to be that way.
Like he would probably, I would vote for him over Joe Biden. Joe Biden's just more of the same shit. Yeah.
Joe Biden has something going on with him that we don't know about yet.
He's one of the lizard people.
I saw that the Babylon Bee, which if you're a fan of satire publications, Babylon Bee kills it every time. They said the Washington Redskins is going to change their name to the Washington Lizard People to be more representative of the Washington, D.C. populace. And that is 100% correct. There are not real people living in Washington right now. They are just robots or lizard people. And Joe Biden has got to be like, I don't know what that guy knows or has seen, but he's seen some very powerful people do some really bad shit to be in the spot that he's at. I mean, God damn it. That's that was the highest position of power for 8 years, but he's been in it for like 50. And yeah, and he's just like, we'll be honest, he is just straight up senile at this point. And they're still just like pushing him forward. Like the liberal progressive party of minority rights and transgender and everything else picked the oldest, whitest guy on the stage to be their nominee. And it boggles my mind. Like, and they just like, they keep propping him up, and it just, I don't know. The more you look at reality today, like the more Matt Stone and Trey Parker from South Park look like a bunch of prophets. Like they've called this shit for years. It's like they've traveled in time. Oh man, that was probably just from one day. Like, oh yeah, he's hilarious in his own right. Kind of like, I mean, Trump's hilarious. I'm kind of tired of the Trump presidency because I don't know if he hasn't noticed or not, but like the country's not in real good shape. But yet he still has time to take to Twitter to bash just random people. I like, get to fucking work, man. I mean, do something. You talk about you're the winner, and like move something towards, like start suing some of these governors that are clearly overstepping their boundaries. You can do that. You've got the Department of Justice under your control. Like, start doing that. Like, sue the state governments that are overstepping their bounds. Let people get back to work. Do something instead of, like, as funny as his tweets are. I'm not going to take anything away from that because the dude's the best follow on Twitter easily. But God damn it, you're the president. Do something. Like,
I spent like 30 minutes of my day the other day.
This whole thing's a fucking mess. 30 minutes of my life, I think. I don't know what else to say, but it's just a fucking mess.
Yeah, the entertainment button.
It doesn't make any sense that China has no new cases in 3 or something days.
Yeah.
And our death rate is expanding exponentially.
Yeah.
There's something going on.
Yeah, well, and then like they'll really rip on Texas and Florida for reopening, and they pick on those two states because they're two of the bigger populations, and they happen to be controlled by Republicans at the moment. But like, you look at the actual statistics, and Texas has like 30 million people, give or take, something like that. A lot of people. And like their new number, not rate, but number of like hospitalizations is like 2,500 people out of 30 million. And they're calling that a hotspot. Like, it does. it seems to me, and maybe I just look at the world a little bit different, but it seems to me that it's pretty apparent that they're just trying to cling to something to keep this thing going because it benefits them in the long run, even though the country is just like the economy is just falling apart.
Oh, it absolutely has. And it doesn't seem like much is being done to help people, to help stay on their feet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like this whole deal is, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, and like usually you can kind of see the end game, and like here, like I like the end game for each individual. Yeah, for each individual person, it's more power, but like the overall end game, I don't see. And I don't know. I like to think I have a pretty decent insight on that, but I don't get it, because you've got Republican governors and Democratic governors, and like even Texas, is supposed to be, Greg Abbott's supposed to be a pretty diehard conservative guy, but like he's been pretty shitty during this whole thing, and I don't know. Like I don't see what the end game is at the moment. Like the way the certain pieces are falling together. I don't know.
You won't see it until it's too late.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I don't know. It's weird. I will say that.
It is weird.
I know we haven't seen it like anything like this before, but I don't know. I don't see what the end game is, and I don't know. Tyler, what's your thoughts on?
Sense is the problem.
Yeah.
Right, and then we're going to see Joe Biden elected as president.
Yeah. So has he announced his? Has he announced his VP yet?
I don't think so.
I haven't. I've heard a lot of speculation on Kamala Harris, which, like, honestly, if they're if they pick Kamala Harris, it's pretty obvious that they really just have no intentions of winning. So then that just, I don't know, maybe I'm just too harebrained conspiratorial, but like Kamala Harris was not liked at all. And she was out pretty quick, like, and I don't know, like, I don't know where the chess pieces are. Like, I don't even know which chess piece is which right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to November. They'll know if you don't belong.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. And then you've got this. Well, I guess let's get real conspiratorial here. So, one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest benefits of this whole COVID deal, which, like, there's not many, but there's a real opportunity to for like the individual producer to market their product right now. But on the same note, one of the big side effects of this whole COVID deal, besides, I mean, like, actually more of a side effect than the actual, COVID deal itself, is like, there's a lot of city folks like wanting to get the fuck out of the cities, which in the long run's probably a good thing. But now that means they got to move somewhere, and that means they're probably moving to where we're at. And but that's just going to change the politics even more.
Trump signs everywhere. I didn't even know there was anybody around here.
The dude ranch down the road from us
my house the other day. I
is
went to
like
the little local store there.
fully booked for the rest of the summer because they haven't closed down their operations. And there's people coming from New York and Chicago and LA and Houston and just all over the place coming to stay at this dude ranch.
Right.
They're tired of being in the city and they have a ton of money to go spend on a vacation. So they're just going to come here and bring the COVID to our little small town.
Yeah, I like I said, if we're getting real conspiratorial on it, maybe that's the whole plan. The grand scheme is to get more like the last. It's always been the last like remaining element, ever since the country was started. Is the rural folks they're always able to stand up and like make sure that their voice was heard. So whether it be for as controversial it was the 3/5 compromise, but that was at the time that was the only way that the southern states would have any pull within the federal government was to have the slaves, even though they couldn't vote, be counted as 3/5 of a person. So regardless of all the moral issues of that, from politically, it was a smart move. Then you've got the electoral college, which means you have a set amount of electors that are weighted by population. So, at least these smaller states have a say. Well, you look at 2016, right. Trump wins the electoral college, loses the popular vote by about 3 million people, which that's a lot of people. That's the city of Denver. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like that whole Rust Belt is what gave Trump the presidency. So you had Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. And Iowa to a certain extent, but the big ones was Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio. And Ohio was really like the only legit swing state. The rest of them were pretty well blue states. But he won all of those states by like a combined total of 80,000 people. 120 million or so people voted. So very small minority or, very small segment of the population decided that. Now, if you got people I guess Pennsylvania was a really hard lockdown state. Michigan obviously was a really, your governor there she's a fucking loon. Yeah. Yeah, I would too. But now you've got, so you got, I forget what the number was, but like it was just like an asinine amount of people leaving New York City. And then like, I'm sure Philadelphia is the same way. And all these big city areas, there's a lot of people wanting to leave now because of the COVID, which, here, all of us here back on the ranch, we've been saying that for years. There's, it ain't natural for that many people to be living in the same area. But if that's the case, and it is, they got to go somewhere to make it a little more natural. That means they got to move out here, and then they bring their politics with them. That's the bad part. It always is, and that's. Oh yeah. Yeah, like I've spent
the guy thumbs down.
Yeah. I spent 3 or 4 summers where I spent quite a little bit of time in New York City,
I'm glad I lived
a week or so at a time.
I spent every
Like, it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it was awesome. I wouldn't want to live there ever. But you walk down the street and it stinks. You hear English just as much as you hear any number of foreign languages. I mean, it's about a 50-50 mix. And like I said, it's dirty, it stinks, smells bad. The people are rude. But it was awesome. There's just a lot of cool shit in New York City, but I wouldn't ever want to live there. And now you there's people I've listened to several different deals. There's people that have lived in New York City their entire life that just bailed on it because they're like, fuck that, I don't want to get the corona and die. And so now they're moving out to these more rural, suburban and rural areas, and they don't know how to live in a suburban or rural area. They're taking and we live in an easy society now, so it's not hard to acclimate, as far as like a logistics point of view, but like on a cultural point of view, that's if you're yelling at your neighbor to shut the fuck up at 2:00 in the morning in New York City, that's just kind of a normal ordeal. Like, nobody thinks anything of it. You'll see each other in the hallway the next day, and nobody's going to be butthurt about it. It's just everyday life. But you do that in the suburbs or especially in the rural communities. You're liable to get punched in the fucking teeth, and then they bring the politics with it too. That's the really bad part. Is like, that's why California gets such a bad name. California is a beautiful fucking state, and there's a lot of good people in there. There's more registered Republicans in California than there is any other state in the country. But they get dwarfed by all the people living in the city, and that's what everybody thinks of when they think of California. They think of LA or San Francisco or Berkeley or Stanford type people, and not the Eastern Sierra rancher or like the Central Valley farmer. They think of just the asshole city types, and because those are the people typically they're moving, and they're fleeing California because of all the laws and shit. Yeah, they don't know how to function. Yet then they vote in that kind of those same laws back here, like here in Nevada, Colorado. Colorado's gone. I mean, that's just little California at this point. I hate it. I mean, I love Colorado. I think it's one of the best states in the country, but it's gone now. I mean, it's not the California or not the Colorado I know. It's the California that I know.
It's the new California.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, you're Colorado native too, huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think myself as a Colorado native.
I still do.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like that state's gone now. That's kind of all there is to it. But I don't know. It's weird.
It's ridiculous down there. I had to go pick up in Denver last month, and went down there. And I went to a grocery store, and I was the only one not wearing a mask. And people were looking at me weird. And I thought I was about to get punched or shot or something for not wearing a mask.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy this weekend. I was in 4 airports, and I just refused to wear a mask. And man, my wife thought I was stupid for doing it, which she may be right. But like we already just allow them to take taxes out of our check, or even if they don't, you pay them knowing that if you don't, you're probably going to jail at some point. And right. Yeah, and so you allow it to happen, so they can claim it's voluntary, and they allow you to do all this stuff. Yeah, it's just wild, and so that was like, I was like, well, at some point, when do you say enough is enough? And I guess that was my point. Is like I've already ceded so many rights that we have, and so I guess like. Enough's enough. So I'm just like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to do it. if anybody should be wearing a mask every day, it's me. 'Cause I work in a damn feedlot. You know, I've inhaled, I don't know how. Yeah, I think you could probably, like, if you did a necropsy on me today, you could probably scrape like 1/8 of an inch of shit dust off my lungs, no problem. You know, at minimum. But I just don't like wearing a mask. That, like, if I'm wearing my glasses or I'm wearing sunglasses, it fogs it up. Can't breathe. And it sounds weird, but I just as soon. Yeah, I just soon breathe shit dust, because that's what you're doing anyways. You know, the mask ain't gonna fix it all. But at least you can get more air with that shit dust if you're not wearing a mask. That's why I don't wear one. And I don't know. So that was kind of that was the point for me. Well, no, I'm just not gonna do it. Fuck off.
The mask thing blows my mind around here, though.
Yeah.
Just to keep some of the cow shit out.
Yeah. Well, that's the same way, like the Maverick gas station I go to. I go there because the fuel's about 2 or 3 cents more expensive, but it's like if you want to grab a Gatorade or a case of beer or whatever, they got the best selection at, you know, real quick, you know, just real handy. And I went in there the other day and they say, yeah, you got to wear a mask. Well, okay. No biggie. It's your business, private business. I'm just not going to shop here. So I went to the one down the road with don't have as many Gatorade flavors, and they don't have as many beer flavors, but I still got my beer and my Gatorade, and I didn't have to wear a mask either. Like
that's same thing. Like
they had the government mandated sign, but they're like, yeah, we have to post that, otherwise we're going to get fined, but we're not enforcing shit. So, and that's what all the sheriffs said too. So,
like, hey, you got to wear a mask to be in here.
Yeah.
I don't go to cold water. I don't care. Like I said, I've been going to Indiana, be like the
and
that's in Indiana.
Yeah, I was talking with my dad, and my dad's really well versed on the law. And he was in the Colorado State House of Representatives for 8 years, and then, you know, on his own time, like, he's actually taught himself the law. So he doesn't have a law degree, but he could hold his own with most lawyers, I think. But you look at all these executive orders because all of these mask mandates are executive orders, or at least they started out as. And there's a couple legal loopholes, like Colorado. If the legislature doesn't respond within a certain amount of days, then it becomes codified into law. So Colorado, it is law now, right. But that's only because the legislature is Democrat and they refuse to act. So this executive order became law, but there's no authority for any of it, and they can fine you, but there's no authority to collect it either. So at the end of the day, it's a toothless law, and it's just how bad you're wanting to fight, and that's I guess that's where most people get a hang up. I know my wife's one of them. She just doesn't want the hassle. But at some point, it's going to be a hassle, and I don't know. I'd rather be a small hassle now as opposed to an armed hassle later.
I prefer an armed hassle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. We'll fight it.
Yeah, and the bad thing is, if you want to fight it, then unless you want to represent yourself, you got to have a lawyer, and they charge about $200 to $500 an hour for a decent lawyer, and then if you lose, you not only do you have all your legal fees, you got to pay the court fees, and a lot of times the people that you're suing will countersue you for legal fees. So the whole deal is it's a lot easier and cheaper to just pay the damn ticket instead of standing on principle. And a lot of times it makes sense. But I don't know. At some point, it has to be like, well, like that's enough. And I don't know what that point is for most people. But
like when they first started the shutdown bullshit, everybody was people bringing me horses, or I was supposed to go meet them to switch horses or whatever. They're all. I had like texting me like our messages or whatever, saying, "Hey, are we gonna get pulled off,
and then like you, and then once again we'll get real conspiratorial. But if it's a dangerous enough subject, they'll just straight up shoot your ass at some point.
But they give you a ticket.
Ask Lavoy Finnecum's family about that.
There was no sense, no rhyme or reason.
He was a threat because he's dead. The Bundys are not a threat because they're a bunch of kind of radical, weird thinking, and it doesn't hurt that they're Mormon too. So people get a weird vibe from Mormons, anyways. I guess people that haven't been around them. So they're it's kind of like they're about the AOC of the far right wing, because they make an easy scapegoat. So if we want to get real conspiratorial, that's the reason why they're still around and Lavoy's dead, because Lavoy was very articulate, very thought out, and he had like a preacher type quality about him. Yeah, and he was gaining a really a pretty good size following, and he made a lot of sense, and that's what made him dangerous. And I truly believe that wasn't just shit went haywire in the heat of the moment. I think that was a planned assassination, and yeah, because like if they really viewed those folks as domestic terrorists and anti-government extremists, they would have went after the Bundys, because they're far more anti-government and extreme than Lavoy Finnecum ever was. But Lavoy Finnecum had the following and was gaining momentum. But that's me with. Yeah, that's me with my tinfoil hat that I just pulled out of my back pocket. Right. But you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, and especially when how everything played out. Not a single person would have seen any prison time over that whole Malheur wildlife deal. If Lavoy would have lived through that thing, he would have been acquitted of all charges. Bundys were acquitted of all charges. Everybody involved with them, including the cops that shot him, all charges were dropped. So, yeah, it's just real convenient that the one guy that made a lot of sense. Yep, exactly. But that fight's still going on. I mean, they've still got a wrongful death lawsuit against those cops. Whether it goes, and maybe it's already wrapped up. I haven't seen here lately, but and so I don't know. There's man, it's weird. So like, at what point do you decide like it's it's enough's enough, but also like if you're making enough sense and enough people, if it's a big enough threat to the powers that be, they're probably coming for you too. I don't know. It's a weird, like I said, it's a weird time we're living in. And I don't know. I don't know really where to go from here or what to think, but it's like, it's a weird time.
I think it's just a matter of time until we have another revolution. People get fed up with the government, or the government takes one step too far and people get pissed off enough.
Yeah. And, I think another weird thing, like, so I use my father-in-law a lot for reference because he's kind of in some ways, he's like your typical, like, older conservative guy. But he was also kind of a rebel back in, not kind of, he was sure enough outlaw back in his day. No love for the cops at all. And now, but like he was like, they need to send the military into Seattle and shut down the Chaz. And like, why? Like, Seattle's lost anyways. Like, Seattle's worse than, the state of California and state of Colorado combined. Seattle is like about as left wing as it gets. And it was like 6 blocks, and then, yeah, seriously, just, and if they want to trade, so be it. But like, let's see how long it lasts.
Put that fire up.
And, they ran out of food in like 2 days. And then they had like 3 or 4 shootings. Yeah, and that's all. Like there's no need to do anything. It'll fail on its own. And so like you got people like that who are pretty anti-authority. Like, first thing they do is call for authority. And I just think, I don't know, I guess the average person, they're okay with authoritarian government as long as it's their flavor, I guess. And I don't know how you change that.
There's no real straight answer, is there?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there is, but I don't know. I just, it's just a weird fucking time we're living in. That's all I know.
It'll be interesting to see where we are in 5 years.
Yeah. You guys think Trump wins?
Most likely.
I think you're right. Keep going. I got to go pee real quick. So.
Yeah. They were obviously going to make something of it. They were so well prepared.
Right. Like, it doesn't make any sense how we have Donald Trump and the joke of that Joe Biden is, and there's no, of course, a third party candidate isn't going to win, at least for another 10 or 20 years. Right. He at least has most of his mind still there. And he's coherent enough to make his own decisions.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. I guess I see some ways that Trump loses, but I don't see realistic ways that he loses. But I look back to 2016, and I didn't think there was any realistic way that he was going to be president either. So if I look back on that, I don't know. Like, I don't know how it plays out.
Biden's even still a freaking contender. Like, it blows my mind just listening to somebody trying to form a sentence. My 3-year-old daughter can talk better than that son of a bitch for a long stretch of time.
Yeah, I guess in the long run,
every time they start talking.
I don't know which one would be worse, Hillary or Biden, because I think either way you're going to get a Clinton running things. But yeah, yeah, that's for damn sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know.
At this point,
it's weird.
Scenario,
I don't really see how he loses, but
he's not the
on the same end,
it's not the answer. But at least
he definitely could.
What the hell he's doing at 73, 74
years ago, we didn't see how he would win, but
yeah. So that's the part that gives me pause, because there has been nothing normal about any of this whole shit. And I mean, I guess the media, but even then they're abnormal. Like, they at least kind of halfway play. They used to kind of halfway play unbiased, which I don't think there's a such thing as an unbiased journalist. I think any honest journalist will show their bias, but they'll point it out.
They absolutely will.
But like,
the opposition
there's not a single person that doesn't have an opinion. Like, you might not have a strong opinion, but you'll have an opinion one way or the other. So I don't think unbiased journalism exists, or ever. I don't think it should exist, honestly. But honest journalism is a different thing, and that's not that. We don't have that, or we don't. The ones that are honest they're not in positions of power.
They've been in it long enough.
And so from that end, like, the media has been just as predictable as always. Like, they're biased and slanted towards government power. They're just far more blatant about it than they used to be. And like, you can go all the way back to like Walter Cronkite. He was a left-wing guy. He just wasn't nearly as blatant about it.
Right. But the reality of it is it's up to each person to decide for themselves what they think is true.
Yeah.
And do the research into what's actually going on besides what the major media is telling us.
Yeah.
And figure out
yeah. Well, and they've got their media outlet, and so they'll read headlines, but they very rarely do people actually read into an article, and the headline will read way different than the outcome of the article usually, and it's usually way. Yeah, like that. That's one of the things of the media is they typically they don't outright lie to you. Typically, it's they just don't tell you the whole truth, or when they do, it's so far down the article that you don't read that far. You get pissed off in the first couple paragraphs and quit reading, and yeah, and then like 3 or 4 more paragraphs, or 6-8 paragraphs later, you'll find what they're actually, the actual truth is, but nobody reads that part because that the headline's something different, and then they'll build up something, and then they'll drop the important information just as a casual byline, but
right.
kind of like I dropped my dick as a casual byline in your mom. There you go, dick media, joke for you, buddy.
They're even like around here. Drop. They don't pay attention.
I knew there was going to be more than one.
Yeah. Oh, you got to. Yeah. Sorry, Nick. I really didn't know where we were going with this, and then like we had a couple of guys bail on us, and not their Robbie bailed on us because he's a bitch, but whatever. The other guy bailed because he had to ship at like 3:00 in the morning. So I won't talk shit on him because I've been there. Yeah, Robbie works for a corporate oil gig, so he has to be worked by like 9:00. He could have been it, but whatever, I know. Yeah, but so anyways, we I don't know, but that's the beauty of the bull session. You never know what's going to happen, and I don't know. I just kind of curious to see what everybody else thinks about this, because maybe I feel like I'm going crazy inside my own head sometimes with just how blatant all these overreaches are, and like how few people are really pissed off about it. Because I'm pissed off about it all the time, but like I'm also kind of a semi-autistic libertarian, so that that just kind of comes with the territory. So I kind of have to see what some regular folks feel like. But I even talked to some of my left-wing city folks, and they're pissed off about the same issue, but for different reasons, it seems like. And I don't know. I just think, man, it's just a strange time, and I don't know where it goes from here, but. You think Kanye's actually gonna run, or is this is he just gonna drop an album on November 2nd or whenever it is?
I really hope that he goes for it and like makes a difference or gets some leverage.
Trump might actually win the popular vote if he does.
Fucking banker.
Yeah. Maybe that's what this is. It's just a power play by Trump because Kanye's a Trump supporter.
Yeah, he is, and he took a lot of shit for it too, like a lot of shit, and
a lot.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge like Kanye as a person fan. I still not. He's great music. Kanye's got some badass beats, but I don't know. I just like he's free thinking anyways, or at least independent thinking, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And the sad thing of it is
he have to win the presidential election.
I think there's no way he wins it, but he might be the most rational candidate out there. Well, at least that's no, he's not. That's for one thing. He's not the worst. And I don't know this. Like I said, I don't know this Joe Jorgensen chick. She seems okay on paper, but no, it's I don't see her picking up any traction. There's no excitement around her. There's excitement around Kanye. Yeah, and
she could have been campaigning this time last year.
Yeah. Well, and like I follow the libertarian politics. Like I think I've been a registered member once, but I've never been like a dues paying member. But I kind of halfway follow what's going on, and I've never heard of her before. So like she came out of nowhere, and it was kind of. Well, like, so there's a couple of libertarian podcasts I listen to pretty religiously, and they were all pulling for this guy Jacob Hornberger, which I thought, once again, like pretty solid as a candidate. There's some stuff I didn't like. He's kind of an open borders guy.
No.
But not in the same way that the Democrats are in open borders. Like it's more of a, like you have the right to travel peacefully, rather than let's bring a bunch of poor Spanish speaking people under the Democratic Party so we can always have a permanent underclass to vote for us. But I didn't agree with him on that. Like, in a perfect libertarian society, that would work just fine. But we don't have a perfect libertarian society. So in the meantime, like if we're gonna, if our politics are going to be decided on a vote, like the people that are actually affected should be the ones that have a right to vote, not somebody who's snuck over the border and is now going to be living on the government tit. So like I get where he is coming from, but yeah,
those people trying to bring the rest of their families over.
Yeah,
and they're not legal citizens of the U.S. And so what gives them the right to vote for an open border? Well, where people are just going to get to go back and forth freely with no policing of any kind.
Yeah. So
no law enforcement.
I look at it from I have my own principles on how that should work. And like I said, in an ideal, like libertarian society, I think the open borders deal could work because then you have the right to refuse anybody coming on your property. Right. But we don't live in that society. So in the society that we live in, we're paying taxes. So it all goes back down to private property rights, and that the money that we pay in taxes is all of our own private property. So we should reap the benefits of it, not somebody who hasn't paid into it. And
right.
And so that's my like it's and then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Out of our pocket.
Yep. Mm. Yep. Yep. Well, yeah, well, it's the same way with like the Waters of the USA deal that just got repealed. But the way that would work out here out west is like if you have like a bull waller where they just they're kicking a bunch of dirt on their back and eventually get a little shallow gully there in your pasture, and it rains and fills up with rainwater. Well, that's under the purview of the federal government, under the Waters of the USA. And that just like that is what the police state looks like, is because it's not so much people cracking skulls. It's that every ordinary average person cannot be in compliance with all these freaking laws that they put on. So shit like that.
I didn't have this down south growing up. You own a piece of property, you want to build a new barn.
You have to have a fucking damn thing for everything.
Where I live now, anything you want to build, if it's a freaking 10 by 12 run out shed for a couple of horses,
everything that you do.
I forget the guy's name that wrote it, and I don't. I read like an excerpt from I don't know if it's an essay or a book, but like the average American every day commits 3 felonies, like sure enough felonies, the way the laws are wrote, and you have no idea. Yeah, and not just like a traffic infraction, like a felony that you commit, and you have no idea because there's so many freaking laws on the book. Yeah. And chances are the officials aren't going to take notice until you step out of line, and then they'll go back and be like, oh, you did this right here, and now they can track us, and there's that's one of the biggest scary things about the whole COVID deal is that they're tracking the fuck out of you. Like every cell phone has a COVID monitoring app on there. I've got mine turned off allegedly, but I think I do too, but I don't trust them. And there's no way you can uninstall it. So, and they're Probably never said a word.
Yeah, I think the weird things where all of a sudden the knows what you're thinking.
So going back to another dick joke here. Yeah.
I remember hearing you talk about that.
So do you guys get the Wish ads on Facebook? I don't know what their algorithm is, but I swear to God, I've never spoke of or thought of any of the products that come up right off the bat. Like it'll be like crotchless panties for dudes next to like a like potpourri or something.
You get those weird
I know. And so I don't know what their algorithm is, but I'm scared by it. Because the shit they come up with, if they're using like what I'm saying, like I'm gonna have to change my way of speaking, I guess, because there's some weird shit that pops up on the Wish app.
I sat around the barn the other day thinking about buying tires for my truck, and the next day on Facebook I saw like 40
it's just fucking crazy. Yeah. It's well, there's some stuff that pops up on Wish, on mine, or like stuff that like I've seen. Like there's probably a little too daring for the bull session group even, and then there's some rank shit that gets posted in there, and the Wish like outdoes all that. Yeah. I don't want to be tied to that deal. That's. They let you run dogs up there, Nick?
Through Facebook.
What's that now?
Yeah, I see.
You ever been in public scrolling through Facebook and one of them Wish ads pops up and you can definitely tell that somebody's looking at your phone? You've been looking at it for just way too long.
No, I'm usually not in public that long. And I tip, and I've got, I think I've got the Facebook algorithm down where I don't see anything basically outside of what I post or what you guys post in the bull session. So that's pretty cool. Because my Facebook feed was pretty aggravating for a while, but now it's just
on any account.
It's either so and so has liked your post on Burning Daylight, or you guys have posted in the bull session, or somebody that's in the bull session posts and that I'm friends with, and that's about all I see. So bravo to the Facebook algorithm on that, because I laugh my ass off
I've seen some shit pop up there that I'd probably crawfish on. I'd be backing up.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we're doing the Lord's work
most
over
of it
here.
Is just degenerate shit, though.
I know, it's awesome. There's some ranked shit in there that I don't know, but I'm a free speed absolutist. I won't pull anything down, because even if I like there's been a few where like it kind of pissed me off a little bit, but at the same time you look and see how many reactions it gets and it's 0. So probably a lot of people feel the same way as me, but there's also you would think so, but the if you follow, you'll follow, and there'll be guys that post like 15 memes in a row that get 0 reactions, and they're always the ones that are just like they're not even real borderline racist, but they're not like outright racist, but like we know what you mean. We know what you mean.
That has
yeah, exactly, and they get no reaction, but they keep posting them. Those guys they don't give a shit. They just it's just like a bulk shit post, and I don't even know if they check it. But
ever since then,
I don't know. But it's at the same time, I just like at some point we're probably going to get shut down by Facebook because of that. But I don't know. I won't pull anything down because it takes too much time, and I don't care. Like if I don't like it, I just keep scrolling, and I react to the ones that make me laugh, and that's about it. But 95% what's on there is fucking solid gold. I don't know where everybody comes up with all of it, but it's awesome. Like and it makes good content for the main page. If it's just PC enough, yeah, exactly. Because we don't have much of a filter anyways, but the bull session is a whole different deal. And but there I've pulled some fucking gems off of there. I know, John, you've got some good ones. I don't know where you find them. Don't tell me, because just keep them coming. I don't want to.
I'll keep doing my civil duty to provide.
That's right. That's as a goddamn American patriot. That's what. We had a pretty in-depth conversation last night about turning Burning Daylight into a church so we can be tax exempt. And I think our two pillars of faith are going to be capitalism and Lonesome Dove. So always be a capitalist.
No, you see, we need a third, and that can be whiskey.
All right. Or just grain alcohol at some point. Like, yeah, it could be whiskey. It could be vodka. I don't give a fuck. Like, as long as, fourth pillar be don't give a fuck. So capitalism, always be Gus, grain alcohol, and don't give a fuck. The Church of Burning Daylight. Amen.
We need a universal prayer.
Fuck yeah. We don't even charge you 10%. It'd be like we actually looked up to what the requirements are, and they're I think we might be able to get it pushed through. I mean, it'd be a sham, but fuck, the government's a sham, so who cares? With
a good enough lawyer, you can get it through.
Yeah, well, I mean, shit. If Donald Trump, a self-made billionaire real estate mogul reality TV star, can be president, why can't Burning Daylight be a church? And just so we can be tax exempt. That'll be the fifth pillar, is taxation is theft. So that's why we're doing it. That'll be the number one pillar, is taxation is theft. Everything else, yeah. That's the whole reason we want to start it, is so that we don't have to pay any taxes. But tax exempt, capitalism, Augustus McCrae, whiskey, don't give a fuck. There we go. That's a solid 5 pillars, I think. Yeah.
That is pretty solid. Are you going to be our leader, our cult leader?
Well, see, I've been doing a lot of research into the Mormons, and I guess I'm doing that. I think I'll be the prophet, as they call it, the prophet, revelator, seer, and something else, and president, prophet, seer, and revelator. I don't want. Well, I read his autobiography. He was a brilliant guy.
Yeah, so is everything else.
Except for the women part. Like, he took way too many wives, and he had a lot of internal strife in his household. And I got one, and she's a handful as it is. I don't need another. I mean, as cool as that may sound. Yeah, I really haven't even delved into the polygamy part of it yet. This is gonna be this might be like a year and a half long effort, but there's a lot of shit to cover on the Mormons. I've read 4 books so far, and I haven't scratched the surface. Like I'm just going with like the most interesting ones at the moment. But there's I started reading a book from the LDS Church. Well, I not reading. I was listening to it on Audible.
Solid.
Oh yeah, there's more. Like don't worry, there's more. It gets better. Yeah, it's entertaining, but like, yeah, I think unless you're in, you're up in Utah, like you didn't hear about that shit. And I mean, you heard a little bit about the Mormons, but not much.
You don't want to be.
But they were a big part of the American West, like a big part. I mean, they went from being nothing but Indians in the Great Basin to, I think Salt Lake had 20,000 people in like 5 years, and they went wagon trains, and then they went hand carts, like a wheelbarrow. Like they had the Mormon Church making wheelbarrows to give to these like foreign converts that were moving out to Zion, or Salt Lake City as they called it. They called it Zion, but to save money, because the Mormon Church was also very frugal, still is. So to save money, instead of having a team of oxen and a wagon, they gave you basically they called it a hand cart, but it's basically a wheelbarrow. And you made the trek from St. Louis to Salt Lake City with a fucking wheelbarrow.
That one freaking podcast.
Yeah, I think that only lasted for a year, and they lost too many of them. But by that time, the railroad had got completed. So
yeah, I know.
Like they're a pretty impressive bunch. Like ingenuity and just like, fuck it, we're going. But they were pretty universally hated everywhere they went to, because they were very sure that they were the chosen people, and people didn't like that, and so they just got pushed out of everywhere. So that's why they went to Utah, and they originally left. But they left Missouri because they got kicked out. They got burnt out. And then they went to Illinois, did the same thing. And then when they went to Utah, they went because that was outside the U.S., because they were like, fuck the government. They're not helping us at all. So we're going to leave the U.S. And then Mexico wins or loses the U.S.-Mexican war, and Utah becomes part of the U.S. And then Brigham Young's like, fuck, God damn it.
Nowhere else to go now.
I know. So then they had kind of a little civil war in Utah, but yeah, it was weird. It's a fascinating story though. Like if you're into history, it's a good fucking story.
Yeah, I know we've got a lot of Mormons here in Southwest Wyoming.
Yeah, you're not far from Zion. How far are you from? You're in Saratoga, so you're about what, like hour and a half out of Fort Bridger.
Dedication.
I think it's more like 2 or 2.5 hours, but it's not bad.
Yeah, so that was kind of like the last station before you cross the Rockies to the Great Basin. So like that,
right.
The Army didn't camp at Fort Bridger, but they weren't far from Fort Bridger when they during the Utah War. But that was the main trail across was through Wyoming, and then they dropped down into Utah. It's a crazy story. You look back at it, there's a lot of crazy shit that happened in the U.S. that we didn't hear about.
Definitely don't get taught about that shit in high school.
No. So the high school that my wife teaches at, I was talking with one of the history teachers there. They start at Reconstruction. Like they skip everything before Reconstruction. I bet like that's where they start U.S. history for high schoolers. Is that Reconstruction? Really? Yeah.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, like there's a lot of important shit that happened before that.
A lot.
Like most of the important shit happened before that. Yeah. And they're just like, oh, and there was a war for whatever reason, I guess, and now they're trying to rebuild. So here's America. Well, there was a lot of really important shit that led up to that, but I don't know. It's yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. And, but hey, we spend more money than any other country, on education. And they just think, well, if we throw more money at it, it'll get better. But that's the type of shit they're teaching, like, or not teaching. Yeah. 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 Cause, when you look at the Mormon deal, the First Amendment's pretty clear cut. You have the, clear line between church and state. Like there's no law that says you can't practice this religion. There's also no law that says you must practice this religion. But right. that kind of went out the window when the Mormons were involved. And they kind of skirted that line because it was a territory at the time. And so they had to comply with the federal government in order to become a state.
Everything that led up to the bullshit.
But yet the rules that they were complying with were directly in contrast with the First Amendment. So like this whole battle that we've been having with First Amendment, Second Amendment stuff has been going on a lot longer than we realized too. So
I can tell you that part.
So as weird of a time as we're in,
where we're at today.
I don't know. Maybe not be as weird as like 1860 Utah. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. It's crazy when you think about it, but I don't know. What's I guess we probably ought to wrap up. I know. Are you on Eastern time there, Tyler?
That's the thing. The not teaching.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck, you're. Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I don't want to keep you up till all hours of the night if you got shit to do. But I guess real quick, what are you dallying on? Are you dallying on rubber? Are you tying hard? Or are you dallying slick? Okay. Yeah,
that would suck.
Yeah, that would be terrible. Yeah, John, I know I asked you last time, but I forget. I was also a little tuned up last time we talked. So, how about you?
It's slick corn all day, every day.
Yes, sir. I like both. It's once you figure it out, it makes a lot of sense, but it's not a
as it could be.
Yeah, well, that's why people started tying on in the first place. So it makes sense. I mean, it's all by how you your terrain that dictates a lot of stuff. But I've tied on, I've dallied rubber. I like dallying rubber. That's really what I grew up on was dallying on rubber, but I've taken a liking to the mule hide and the long rope. But I still like a swell fork saddle. I like something solid. If a horse is going to pitch, I want a set of swells there. Yeah. All right. So, John, what's your predictions for the election and moving forward? Are we going full on boogaloo or what's happening?
Oh shit, that's my fantasy if we go full on boogaloo.
I'm still waiting on my goddamn boogaloo flag. The one item that once I started getting some sponsorship money, the one item I was really excited about, like the camera and stuff is cool because it makes it appealing for you guys. But like the one thing I was really excited about, I had a Colorado flag, but instead of the sea with the sun, it was a sea with a big igloo in it. And there was a Hawaiian print on the background. It was full on boogaloo flag. Got lost in the mail, coincidentally.
Oh,
yeah, convenient. I'm sure it was just a real accident too. But
the government doesn't want you to have that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So what's your prediction? Election results and moving forward.
Oh, if Sleepy Joe wins, we're totally fucked. If Trump wins, we're kind of fucked. If Kanye wins, we're slightly less fucked.
Yeah.
Either way, we get. You know what? I'm just gonna say this: go buy a couple gallons of lube because we're gonna get screwed up the ass. Anyway, it goes.
I think that's a pretty solid prediction. Tyler, how about you? Yeah, the beats would be sick if Kanye got elected. Yeah,
Kanye's gonna remix the national anthem.
Oh, can you imagine if he remixed Jimi Hendrix with Yeezy on the national anthem?
Oh, that'd be sick.
It'd be fucking sick. That'll be my 4th of July music every year if that's the case.
Well, now we have to vote for Kanye.
Kanye 2020. Yeah, I
think that's where we should leave it. Is just Kanye 20.
Yeah, just Kanye 20.
I can make some.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. All right, perfect.
All right,
let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm going to spend half of my day tomorrow on just designing a Kanye 2020 flag.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
No, just remember, I came up with this campaign slogan: harder, faster, better, stronger.
That's right. Well, put the Burning Daylight logo up there in the corner. And we'll the Burning Daylight podcast officially endorses Kanye West for president 2020. It's just like, well, we can't.
Cowboys dancing a rapper from Jackson Hole.
Yeah,
that works out.
Yeah, exactly. It can't get any worse. That ought to be his campaign slogan. Is like better, harder, faster, stronger, and it can't get any worse. I think we're on to something. I think we're on to something there. But anyway, Yeezy 2020 and move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Rice-filled maze and a barefoot boy on a jetty plank as he walks into the goal. In a lighthouse shining out to the sea, to the shrimp are staring in disbelief at the mermaid saying he's gotta believe that a light will take him home. And by the Mississippi River there's a southbound train and it's headed for the goal. Gonna buy my ticket and hold it tight till I know I'm getting close. See me running down the alleyway looking for the jetty, searching for my soul. You know, I'm headed for the coast. For the coast. Too many young people trying to run their lives. Too many rich folks trying to change their mind. I'm tired of the hustle, get out of the bustle every time I see the light. Tell me, baby, can you feel my soul? I'm rolling with the rhythm on cruise control. I got 3 chords and I speak the truth to Willie Nelson, that's a country song. By the Mississippi River there's a southbound train and it's headed for the goal. Gonna buy my ticket and hold it tight till I know I'm getting close. See me running down the alleyway looking for the jetties, searching for my soul. You know, I'm headed for the coast. For the coast. By the Mississippi River there's a southbound train and it's heading for the goal. Gonna buy my ticket and hold it tight till I know I'm getting close. You see me running down the alleyway looking for the jetties, searching for my soul.